The Western Cape Provincial Health Department is today kick-starting its community screening and testing for COVID-19. The Tracing Home Screening and Testing program will start in Khayelitsha, Bo-Kaap, Mossel Bay and the Cape Winelands. This is in line with President Cyril Ramaphosa and Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize's announcement that field workers will embark on the active community screening and testing program. Let's now go live to our reporter Athi Mthongana, who's in Paarl. Athi, a very good morning to you. What are the latest developments there?
Well, Mpo, a very good morning to you, but I think I should begin with clearly stating where the testing and screening will be taking place in the Western Cape for the next few days for viewers who do really want to know where the locations of the testing and screening will be conducted in the province. So on Monday, we'll have screening and testing in Khayelitsha, and that will be specifically in Town 2 and Lita Park. Now, this is where some of the positive cases in Khayelitsha come from. So that is obviously something that's going to be very useful for the residents there to know where they stand with regards to the virus. And then on Monday still they will be conducting tests in Tygerberg as well, and that will be obviously in Bishop Lavis, and that will also be in Valhalla Park as well as Bonteheuwel. And then they'll continue on Tuesday, Mpo, with their mobile testing here in the Western Cape. They'll be in Klipfontein, and that will be linked with the Philippi area, and then they'll also do testing as well on Wednesday in Kraaifontein, in Scottsdale and Bo-Kaap. And then on Wednesday they'll be testing residents in Kraaifontein, in Boitesig, as well as Durbanville. And then they'll also conduct testing as well in the rural districts of the province, so along the Garden route. So you'll have Mossel Bay, for instance, residents there will be tested, as well as the Cape Winelands and Mbekweni in Paarl. So we know that this is obviously part of President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement when he announced that there will be mass test screening and testing in South Africa in the next few days. So I'm just going to slightly move out of shot, Mpo, so my colleague can show you this tent that has been erected at this hospital. Now, this is a hospital in Paarl. What you're seeing right now are not residents who are here to test as of yet. We understand that the tent is still being finalized in terms of the construction. Who you are seeing right now are health care professionals in the province. They're here to assess this particular structure that has been put up. It is going to be up for, the duration of the pandemic. And what's interesting about this particular tent that they've erected here, Mpo, similarly to what we saw at the Tygerberg Hospital, is that in the event that, they need more spaces for beds, this particular tent has been built such that it can also be converted to wards where people can be isolated and people can easily be admitted inside the tent. So this is what we will be seeing at most of the hospitals. And then inside the communities, and it's going to be slightly different in that you're going to see those mobile ambulances out to test people, so they will be able to at least be able to move around in various communities, unlike the structure here, which is going to remain here, like I said, for the duration of the pandemic in the Western Cape. Now, we know that the number of people that have been infected with COVID-19 in the Western Cape has gradually increased, in fact rapidly increased. We know that the Western Cape is, of course, the second highest province that has recorded the highest number of people that have been infected with COVID-19. The Western Cape follows, of course, the Gauteng province with 2 deaths that have been reported here in this province. So this is going to be up for the next few days or the next few months, as well as the mobile testing that we'll start seeing at the various communities that I mentioned earlier on.
Athi, with the numbers rapidly increasing, we know that at the very start of the testing process in Alexandra, we heard Gauteng Health MEC Dr. Bandile Masuku speaking about that, saying that there will be some measure of logic when it comes to testing people for COVID-19. In terms of the criteria, with the numbers moving quite fast, is there any specified criteria or people or perhaps a tracing, tracking pattern that is allowing people to come to that testing centre, or is it a random decision?
As you know, Mpho, authorities, particularly health authorities, have really been asking residents not to just rock up at healthcare facilities for testing. They have been asking residents to first call that toll-free number. The Western Cape province has also its own number, because we believe that the national number, was overwhelmed with a lot of people trying to call and trying to ask a lot of questions around COVID-19. I'm just going to slightly move out of shot. I believe some of the health officials have started arriving, and I believe that there is a briefing that is currently taking place, which means we need to cut this short, because we do need to hear from the CEO of the hospital. We need to hear from the CEO of the hospital, like I said, as well as the MEC for Health, Noma French and Bomo, which I believe have started arriving. So I think this is where we have to leave it for now. But of course, mass testing and screening will be carried out throughout the province today and for the rest of this week and for the next couple of months. But because we have to go listen in on that briefing, I think that's where we have to leave it for now.
Absolutely.